Hey everyone, and welcome back to Siem Reap, Cambodia. Today was the day I had been waiting for, a sunrise visit to Angkor Wat. Finally, I was about to live out my Indiana Jones girly moment, something that's been on my bucket list for years. Good morning. So it is 4:55 a.m. and today is the day that I have been waiting for this entire trip. If you're not familiar with this temple dates back all the way to 1010 to I think 1220. It dates back to, it was the capital of this area. And also I read last night that the population of the world, well, it was 0.1 of the population actually lived here. So pretty fascinating. But today is my day to have my Indiana Jones moment. I am so excited to see this. So I'm going for sunrise, and I've gotten myself a tuk-tuk through Get Your Guide, and because it's actually, the temple is huge and there's many temples. So yeah, let's go have an amazing day because I am super psyched. At 5 a.m. sharp, my tuk-tuk was waiting for me, and the ride to Angkor Wat was just about 15 to 20 minutes. If you watched my previous Siem Reap episode, which I'll link in the description, you'll know I bought my ticket online ahead of time. The one-day pass costs $37 USD, and it gives you access to explore multiple temples in the Angkor Archaeological Park.
So to give you an idea of the crowds right now.
Now, let's talk about Angkor Wat itself. It's hailed as the largest religious monument in the entire world. And it's so important to Cambodia that it's even featured on the national flag.
It's like insanely packed. So, but will it be worth it? We'll see. I think so. It's as soon as you walk in, the feeling is just like you've literally entered another world. So it's pretty amazing. Okay, the sun is coming up on this incredible sight. This is truly extraordinary. We've literally just walked into a different time period. And to get to experience this, if you're coming here, you have to do this.
Built almost 900 years ago by the king who commissioned the temple, Angkor Wat was originally a Hindu temple dedicated to Vishnu before later becoming a Buddhist temple. If you didn't already know, I'm a fashion, actor headshot, and travel photographer. And for today's excursion, I was leading first and foremost with my camera as a photographer, before even thinking about video. Normally, it's the other way around for me, but today I was insanely excited to capture this spiritual mecca through my lens. The sheer scale of it is unbelievable. The complex stretches across more than 400 acres and is surrounded by a massive moat. Inside, you'll find 3 ascending galleries and 5 iconic towers designed to represent Mount Meru, the mythical home of the gods. And unlike most temples of its kind, Angkor Wat is unique because it faces west. Why west? Well, there are a few theories. One is that because Angkor Wat was dedicated to Vishnu, the Hindu deity who faces west, the temple was designed to do the same. Another theory suggests it may have been built as a tomb for the king who commissioned it, since the west is symbolically linked to death and the setting of the sun. And then there's the equinox theory. On the spring and autumn equinoxes, the sun sets perfectly behind the central tower, creating a breathtaking alignment that may have been planned by the temple's architects.
So the sun is officially up. Amazing. I'm waiting for some people to clear out, and then there's some other places that I want to go visit, especially because I brought like my entire setup with me for this, so I'm gonna take advantage of this.
As the first light of sunrise broke over the temple, I was mesmerized just standing before it, in awe of its sheer size, but also on a deeper spiritual level. I felt so humbled, yet I could almost feel the temple's energy running through my veins. It might be one of the most spiritual moments I've ever experienced in my travels. The temple's preservation and restoration has been a massive international effort. In 1993, UNESCO established the International Coordinating Committee for the Safeguarding and Development of Angkor. Angkor Wat was officially declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1992, and today it attracts more than 2.5 million visitors each year. Standing there in that moment, I realized why Angkor Wat is not just a temple, but a timeless symbol of Cambodia, admired for its harmony, its grandeur, and the incredible carvings and devatas that seem to whisper stories through its walls.
Okay, so I've been taking photos and playing in these smaller parts of the temple back here, so now it's time for me to make my way in. book, but Buddha is inside of there. The two Buddhas, one is standing, one is sleeping. So this place is insanely big. I've literally been here for hours already. In fact, my tuk-tuk driver's like, you have 5 more temples and you only have an 8-hour tour. So we'll see what I get to. But I mean, I have enjoyed this thoroughly. This is what I came for. So being here at this temple and seeing this, I mean, this is an entire world. It's really just exquisite, and seeing the detail and knowing how old it is really just unbelievable. And it's fascinating to look at the Buddhas. So the Buddha women are all different. They have different poses, they're styled differently, and they have a different meaning, which I'm not sure what the meaning is exactly. But this has really just been remarkable and above and beyond so worth it. And you understand when you're in here why this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, because you can just see how old this is, and literally you can see the entire city. It's really amazing, and not even amazing, it's exquisite. It really is. Thank you though.
You do one more dress, just $2 for the dress.
So market here, so they're all trying to sell me something. I did grab a water for $1 American dollar. They're selling paintings for $3. Do I want? Yeah, really bad. But I gotta go and I have nowhere honestly to put it right this second. So I'm gonna have to wait, and hopefully the night market, I know I'll see stuff. But yeah, do I really want? I do. Driver to drive you around, because these places are far.
Teach my soul to sing your song.
All right, so I'm on to my second temple. Honestly, there's 3 here that are big ones. On the map, this is the 3rd one down, and everyone said come to this one. This is the one that you want to come to next, basically. So the other thing to know is that where you get dropped off and where you have to walk to, it's far. It's really, really far. So you are going to do a ton of walking here. And I mean, I think in between the temples, I mean, it must have been at least 3 or 4 miles that he drove me. So it's not something that's walkable. There's no way that you could walk from one temple to another. So you really do need to get yourself some type of transportation. So I'm actually going under part of a tree. The roots are really, really crazy. And I've already been told like I need to photograph it, but yeah.
And I don't know what I believe. Through the clouds.
Kind of amazing. Some of these trees, like this one's got holes in it. And I think there's one against the temple, so there's another one really to see, but the size of these, I mean, they're massive. And what's interesting is there's like holes through the middle. So the way that they grow is so interesting. Very fascinating. This is a really different feel than the other temple. I mean, the other temple felt like a city. This is much more intimate, a bit more quiet here, for sure. Wow, that tree. Amazing.
Unlike the grandeur of Angkor Wat, Ta Prohm feels like stepping into another world, almost as if nature decided to reclaim what humans had built. Towering silk cotton and strangler fig trees wrap their roots around the ancient stone walls, creating an atmosphere that is both haunting and beautiful. Ta Prohm was built in the late 12th and early 13th centuries by the same king who commissioned Angkor Wat. Known as a monastery of the king, it served as a Buddhist monastery and a university. At its height, it housed more than 12,000 people, including monks, priests, and workers. Today, though, it's most famous for the way the jungle and the temple have become one.
Oh, wow. So there's all these Buddhas up there.
The massive roots weaving in and out of the stone, almost as if the trees themselves are holding the ruins together. If it looks familiar, it's probably because you've seen it on the big screen. Ta Prohm became world famous as a filming location for the movie Lara Croft: Tomb Raider. But being here in person, it feels nothing like Hollywood. Standing in these corridors with dappled light breaking through the canopy, you can hear the sounds of the forest echoing around the crumbling stones. It's spiritual in its own way, not the ordered celestial alignment of Angkor Wat, but something raw, untamed, and deeply connected to nature.
So that tree, it literally snakes around, and they have actually some metal pieces to help keep it so it doesn't actually, so the limbs don't actually fall because some of the temple has crumbled. So, and gosh, those roots, whatever, they're not even limbs, they're roots, I just realized, to the tree. It's like a person, literally. Unreal, really amazing. See?
Now, I'll be honest. By the time I arrived, the temple was busier than I would have liked. Ta Prohm's pathways are narrow, which means you often find yourself stuck in the masses, and of course, everyone wants their photo with the incredible tree roots. It can be a bit overwhelming, but at the same time, I can't blame anyone. It really is one of the most photogenic places I've ever seen. From a preservation standpoint, Ta Prohm is unique. Unlike many of the other temples in Angkor that have been fully restored, Ta Prohm was deliberately left in much of its natural state to showcase the powerful embrace of nature over the centuries. Restoration efforts have focused on stabilizing the ruins while keeping that wild, overgrown look that makes the temple so special. UNESCO and the Archaeological Survey of India have played a huge role in maintaining its delicate balance between ruin and survival. As a photographer, Ta Prohm was a dream. Every corner revealed another stunning contrast of stone and root, light and shadow. It was less about symmetry and more about capturing the relationship between time, history, and the unstoppable power of nature. Walking through Ta Prohm, I couldn't help but feel like I was inside a living, breathing story, where history and the jungle continue to write new chapters every single day.
Amazing. Do you see the Buddha head on there?
What I didn't realize as I left Ta Prohm was that passing through this gate would mark the beginning of an entirely new chapter in my Angkor journey. I had just stepped into the ancient city of Angkor Thom, the last and longest lasting capital of the Khmer Empire, founded in the late 12th century. While Angkor Wat means city of temples, Angkor Thom translates to great city. Driving through one of its massive gates was surreal. My tuk-tuk driver Jack, who I have to say wasn't just a driver, but a total lifesaver that day, always had cold bottles of water waiting for me as I came out of each temple, which was a blessing because it was a blazing 96 degrees Fahrenheit while I explored. He also made sure I could find him easily every time I exited, and along the way, he would pull over to share little gems with me. At this gate, Jack told me to climb up the sides to capture the Buddha faces carved into the stone. Each side of the gate was lined with them, and the fact that vehicles could actually drive through this ancient structure completely mesmerized me. It was one of those moments where history and the present collide, and you can feel just how alive this place still is. From there, we continued deeper into Angkor Thom, and that's when my eyes widened, because straight ahead, so close to the street, stood my next stop, Bayon Temple. From a distance, I could already see them, the serene, smiling Buddha faces staring back at me from the towers. And stepping onto the grounds, I honestly thought, wow, this is it. I've officially stepped into my girly Indiana Jones moment. It felt like I walked straight onto a movie set, except this was real life, and it was absolutely incredible. Bayon is unlike anything I had seen before. Built in the late 12th or early 13th century at the heart of Angkor Thom, it was the state capital of the king. The most distinctive feature? Those iconic stone faces. Dozens of them, each with a calm, almost otherworldly expression, clustered around its central towers. Walking among them is almost disorienting, because no matter where you stand, you feel like the faces are watching you. It was such a different feeling from Angkor Wat or Ta Prohm. Each temple had its own personality. One grand and aligned with the cosmos, one wild and claim by nature, and now this one, powerful, mysterious, and utterly mesmerizing. With every stop, I found myself more and more in awe.
So by the way, if you're gonna see monkeys, it's gonna be in this temple. I just saw bats though. So to be honest, I mean, this is my favorite part right here because I can see all the layers of the faces, not only that, but the columns that are all cut out and stuff, and on the columns, so they're really intricate, but a lot is faded, obviously. But I think I might have found my favorite part of the temple right here. monkeys over there. How incredible. All the faces are different. Really, just wow. This was the best after going and seeing the temples of coming back and getting in the pool. This was exactly what I needed.
I'm not even sure I had the words at this point for everything I had seen in a single day. But what I do know is that I was in complete awe and my heart was so full. This may have been the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. And a huge shout out to Jack, my tuk-tuk driver, for helping me so much throughout this journey. I left a link in the description if you want to book a tuk-tuk for your Angkor exploration. Make sure you're subscribed because next I'm heading to Bangkok, Thailand. See you next time.